achievers, welcome to another episode of the Achievers Podcast with me, Charles Ubengo. Today we're going to be talking about the e-commerce, the digital space, and you as a small to medium entrepreneur, how best can you utilize the space to make sure that it works for you. Let's quickly look at the stats, African stats. We have got Africa. Africa has got a population of 1.3 billion people, and it covers 30.37 million square kilometers, with a GDP per capita of $2.8 trillion. That is a combined output of 1.4 billion people, and with an approximately 3,000 native languages that are spoken. But the dominant conventional language is either English or French in some spaces and Arab in some spaces in Africa, countries in Africa. So this is the kind of market that you can tap into, and the good thing about digital marketing is it goes beyond boundaries, goes beyond geographical limitations. So you're able to serve a bigger, wider market, you're able to grow your market, and you are able to customize the needs of these people because you can reach to them out. Specifically remember that one of the best advantages of using the digital space in terms of marketing, advertising, or whatever, it can dissect the market into granular needs and preferences, whereby you are able to target specific market to the smallest kind of classification that you can have. At the top e-commerce brands or the marketplaces in Africa, we have got Jamia with a site traffic of 23 million visitors monthly of customers. I'm just going to give you an example of the leading organizations which are utilizing the digital space and how much they're earning. They're gaining in terms of consumer traffic on a day-to-day basis. So now we're going to be using the measurement of a month. Jumia with a site traffic of 23 million visitors monthly. Take a Lot, which is the dominant brand, e-commerce brand in South Africa, which has got a site visit per month of 10.5 million, and Amazon, which has got 10 million visits per month, and Konga with a traffic of 2.3 million people per month. So as much as these all people don't necessarily convert all of them into purchase, but the mere fact that you've got 23, you've got 10.5, you've got 10 million, you've got 2.3 million visits to your website, it shows the potential. It shows, because majority of the people who say that they will consult and they bounce back later to come and buy, but majority of them really will do a purchase. So it is important. But now the tricky part is digital space is very, very, very important because it needs to be managed with care, because it's easy for you to go viral on a negative note. The damage will be massive, and it's not even easy to reverse. So it is of much important that whatever engagement you do on the e-commerce, you make sure that you utilize it by competently managing it and competently framing it in terms of creating a strategy that really works for you in terms of where you're going to target, what exactly are you going to do, and when exactly do you engage with your clients, and how exactly do you engage with them. So we are talking of the right people who are able to man your system, in terms of the system should be fluently working to avoid inconvenience. Remember, any technical glitch might result in a lot of customers bouncing out of your site and not making a purchase, which might cost you a sale that might even add up to your survival, not even your profit. So it is important to make sure that your systems are working well. That means you need to have the right people, technical people, to make sure that they manage the system well, and also the right people who are going to be guiding and engaging online with your customers. Let's look at the e-commerce market size. We spoke about the main players earlier on, and then now we're going to looking at the market size. The African market size is valued at 277 billion as of 2023, with a projected annual growth of 14.4 percent. In 2024, e-commerce is expected to close at 34.57 billion in sales revenue. So this is a big market that you can tap in. And remember, like I spoke earlier on, that the best thing about digital space is you're not limited to your geographical setup. For example, if you are in a given city, with the digital space, you can even reach out to people who are in the next city, people who are in the different country, which is within Africa or wherever. Because if you look at Takealot, they're selling throughout South Africa, and it's easy because they use the deliveries and stuff. So imagine if you, as a small organization, do your maths right in terms of organizing and operational efficiency. Not really to have a big budget, but to make sure that whatever you have, you reach out to the furthest person, not just limiting yourself to the people who are around the business. So it is important. Let's look at the focus, the estimated focus of the market in terms of its growth in the coming years. It is expected that by 2025 the market will grow by 500 million people, and the projected market size of the e-commerce in Africa is expected to be valued at 940 billion by 2032. So it is quite important for you to secure your space in terms of having a market share of this 940 billion worth of market in Africa by utilizing e-commerce as a small to medium entrepreneur. Drivers in the e-commerce growth in Africa are as follows: rapid growth in internet penetration. I think wherever we are, we've noticed that many people are becoming more accessible to internet because it's becoming cheaper, and many public facilities are being given access. Having a Wi-Fi which can be accessed by the publics, be it malls and whatever. So this means many people have got access to the internet. High mobile and gadget penetration. Of late, we have had some in-house brands in terms of mobile handsets that are quite cheap for people to use, and many people have become able to afford a handset, unlike before, which is a smartphone, which allows them to go online. So that means the majority of the people are doing these transactions on their mobile phones. So it's difficult. It's different from before, where people used to need to have a laptop or a computer for them to be able to access the internet. Majority of people these days, we are doing it in the comfort of our own home, in a taxi. Even when we are in transit, we are able to access the internet and do a transaction. Increase in the use of digital payments. There are many options now. I think you've noticed that sometimes when you want to purchase something online, you've got different options. Also bank authorized kind of payment. There are many options for payment these days, which makes it much easier for transaction to be done with a sense of safety that my money is not going to be stolen from the bank, because there is the evolution of digital space has actually brought a lot of loopholes, security loopholes, but many companies are working tirelessly to make sure that they eradicate that kind of threat or minimize it. And then data affordability. I think data is common sense that data is now a bit affordable than what it is, as much as it is not affordable to the level that we might want it to be, but I think it's a bit affordable than before. Growing population, like I said earlier on, they support the market in Africa is expected to grow with 500 million more people, and then the rising urbanization. Many areas that used to be very remote have now been urbanized, or they've been developed to an extent that they've got electricity, they've got internet access. So these are the factors that are driving e-commerce growth in Africa. So it is worth just tapping into. If they have got a phone, if they have got internet access, if it's easy for them to do a payment because many banks are connected to different payment platforms, and the population is growing. So why not just tap into the market and grow your business? The leading mentions in terms of e-commerce in Africa are items that are mostly sold by many companies in Africa that are boosting the e-commerce space: electronics, clothing, food, and cosmetics. But this does not limit only to say these are the only things that you can sell. Whatever business that you're doing, it is going to be more viable online. It's only that sometimes you might be intimidated by the initial cost of installing a system that works, installing a system that effectively and securely can transact. But this is the future if you are to survive. Let's talk about you as a small to medium entrepreneur. What is it exactly that you need for you to have a functional digital space? You need a website. A website is basically whereby it's a visual store. You are having another version of your physical store online. So it is important that the image, the brand image that you need to create, that you've created on the ground, should match the brand image or treatment that you are going to have visually. So you need a website. You definitely need to have a website that is user-friendly, which can upload without any hiccups and any delays, because that has been seen as one of the biggest causes of bounce out rate, whereby people quickly reach your website and bounce out because they are not impressed with the speed. It's too slow. People are busy these days, so you should make sure that your website is fast, it's user friendly, and it's easy to understand. And even the terms of the wording should be simple. Many people have got a perception that communication is about using big vocabulary words. I think that's when we get it wrong. The importance of any communication piece or any communication article is to make sure that the message reaches the audience. So our website should be a website that is got concise information that is straight to the point, that is easy to understand for your audience, for them to be able to do easy transaction. I've had such incidents whereby going to a website, you don't even understand where the website, where the information is coming from and going, and you don't find any useful information that relates to helping you and making the transaction more convenient. So we need to make sure that it is important from the design, because many people say they can design websites, and many people say no. There are many apps these days that are doing websites through artificial intelligence for you, but in some cases you need the conceptualization of the website by an individual who can customize and contextualize the information on the website to the extent that it relates and it resonates with your brand values and brand treatment. So it is important that we have expertise or professionals doing these websites to make sure that websites become the kind of websites that even you yourself would enjoy shopping from. And the other thing besides the website, you definitely need to utilize social media spaces for marketing, for recruitment, for engaging customer service, for PR purposes, for communicating different information that is very important for the organization. So which one do you use? It depends with your brand, it depends with your target audience, it depends with the message that you want to communicate, it depends with the kind of product or service that you deal with. There are some products that need detailed information which you cannot actually post on X, because X has got a limitation in terms of character usage that you can do, though not for all. But if you can subscribe and become verified, I think it is more, you can use it you can use, you don't have limits actually. But so I mean, yeah, X has become one of the platforms that has got no limits at all. If you verify, so you definitely just need to verify to get verified and subscribe to the payments, the monthly payments that you have to do for you to enjoy that. So it depends with the, like I said, the product or service that you deal with, how detailed is the information, and it depends with the message that you're trying to convey. It depends with the purpose of the campaign. Is it a promotional, I mean, is it a persuasive, is it an informative, is it a reminder? How short and long or long should it be? So in terms of which social media, but we are talking of the strategic version of using social media, which is for campaigns, for product launch, for advertising and stuff. But in terms of day to day, it is of high importance that we have a social media existence that is quite alive on a day-to-day basis for us to create a community. Because if we have got a community on the social media space, it is easy for us to be able to communicate to people who can listen to our messages. Because if we have got an existing community that has come to our page or become part of our community of individuals who have become part of our community on the basis that they are in love with the brand, they have had a positive experience with the brand, or they have had an issue which was addressed competently and impressively. So these are people we have got basic attention for our products. So we are not just advertising to people who are just going to skip the advert. We are advertising to people who are interested. We're going to go straight into the steps of how to create a digital marketing strategy. The first stage is to identify who is my audience. By who is my audience, I'm talking about who is buying my products or who is listening to my messages. So that is their age group, their gender, their location, their media preferences, their buying preferences. So it becomes more easy if we have got an already existing social media presence whereby people have already been engaging. We have got a community of people who are in love with the brand, people who have got a positive experience with the brand, people who understand the brands, our brand. So these are the people who already have got established attention to your brand. So you're not just wasting your engagement to people who are going to quickly skip on your advert, be it an advert. And then second step is to define your goals and objectives as an organization or as a brand. What is it that you aim to achieve through this campaign or this existence? Is it to engage with your customers on a day-to-day basis and communicate them, keep them in the loop as to what is it that is happening in your brand? Is it about selling or prospecting for new customers? Is it about reminding those who are there? Is it about product launch? Is it about what is it that you want to achieve as an organization or as a brand on social media? You need to establish that. And the recruitment also can be one of the objectives, because social media has become more useful in terms of recruitment. It's easy to recruit and it becomes more effective because you can understand the person's character. Because remember, I think I've said it in my previous videos that human character plays a significant role in you having the best employees. Some people might be highly qualified, but their character might be stinking. That won't end up well. As highly qualified as they are, they will not be a good asset to your brand. So it is important for you to understand the character, and social media gives you the ability, because you can vet their social media profiles and see what kind of people are they, what do they post, how do they engage on a day-to-day basis. It's very important, because some organizations have seen themselves in a legal mess because of people whom they shouldn't have hired in the first place because they are reckless. And then the step number 3 is to evaluate your competitors. Understand your competitors. What is it that they're doing online? Which platforms are they using? How are they using the platforms? What are their weaknesses? What are their strengths? Their weaknesses, if you identify them, then convert those weaknesses into strength on your brand to make sure that you become a better voice to convince the target audience. Step number 4, determine your digital marketing channels. It is important for you, like we said here, to understand your target audience. Now, if you understand them, then you are able, you are informed to choose which platform to use. So if you're somebody who is dealing with a brand that needs a lot of detailed information, it is important to use more platforms that allow you to publish comprehensive information, and information like videos, which appeals to both senses, sense of hearing and sense of sight. So, and then it depends. Sometimes if you deal with brief information, X will be the best platform, whereby it's, for example, product introduction. You can nicely introduce a product on X, and it will work very well. Using, if you are targeting audience who are learned, target audience who are white collar people, it is important to use a platform like X, because that's where you find majority of them there. Yeah. So understanding which channels to use is very important, and I think it can only be possible if you understand the target audience that you're dealing with. So you find that these stages are interdependent on each other. The next stage is outline your content strategy. What is it exactly that what is the plan of action that we are going to use on these platforms? So are we going to use engagement posts? Are we going to use informative posts to inform them, so that in the long run we gain trust from these target audience? Competition, how are we going to compete on these platforms? So the strategy is very important. How frequent do we post? What time do you post? When to recycle posts? It also, but it starts from creating what we call a content plan. So a content plan is actually basically we are creating a plan of the content that we are going to post. So it states the day when we are posting, the time the post is going to be published, the date the post is going to be published, and then the reports. When do we compile reports in terms of reviewing of the performance of the post that we have used for that particular period? Usually it's advisable to have monthly reports, whereby you are reviewing the performance of all the posts that you have posted over that month and how much they have performed. So what needs to be changed, what needs to remain the same, or what needs to be reduced. So that's important also. So that's basically the strategy, the content strategy, as to how are you going to execute your engagement on these platforms. And also your website, it needs to be concise in terms of, you need to have, for example, that's why other organizations have got blogs, whereby they are blogging about new products and services. They're blogging about misconceptions about the product. They're blogging about alternative product uses that people might not be aware of. So the content strategy needs to be clear, and it can only be clear if it's informed by you knowing your target audience, and by also you knowing your competitors, and also by you knowing which platforms you should use as a brand that relates well to your target audience. So they are interdependent. And step number 6 is set up reporting tools. Remember earlier on we mentioned about insights. These platforms, they've got insights. Insights are basically the back end of the platform. The back end that analyzes the behavior of all the audience or all the people who engage with our platform. There are many that we can use for websites. We can use Google Analytics, and for search engine optimization, which is a function that has to do with optimizing the functionality of your website in terms of how is the speed competent enough, is the wording user friend, the wording, the keywords, are they Do we have the right ratio of the keywords on the website? Is it user friendly in terms of responding to the needs of the target audience? So that's search engine optimization. And the majority of us tend to undermine the role of search engine optimization. It's very important. I know sometimes it comes pricey, but I think if you are a medium to small entrepreneur with a limited budget, it is important to utilize Google Analytics, which is much affordable compared to search engine optimization. So, and for Facebook, we have got Facebook Insight, which allows you to analyze the behavior of your target audience. When are they engaging with you, in terms of which days, what time, and who are they, what age are they, what gender are they, what race are they. So at least you are now informed to be able to engage with them or to create content that resonates with their definite interests, and in that way you are able to draw their attention undividedly. And then so step number 7, delegate responsibility to a team that is competent. Identify who is the best person to handle your platforms. We've got chat comments these days, which is usually the chat pop-up box that you see when you go to a website. It says chat with us. So you need to know that these people need to be people who are competent, good communicators, people who are emotionally intelligent, people who understand, we have got a sense of agency, who understand that when a client or a customer, a prospective client, customer engages with you, they've got limited time. So you need to respond to them as quickly as possible. So you need to have the right person assigned to this role of managing, engaging, and responding to customer needs or customer engagements. Like I said earlier on, if something goes viral, it's a negative, something goes viral and it's of negative impact, it is not easy to extinguish it online. So you would need somebody who is able to make sure that they prevent such kind of unfolding, and utilize every time they have to make sure that they build a very positive relationship with clients, and make them feel more needed and more appreciated through the engagement that you do. Because there's some cases whereby you send in there is a pop-up chat, or you send a message to an organization, it responds probably after 1 week, yet I wanted to do the purchase that very day and that very hour when I send the message, and you go on for 2 days, they only come to you 2 days. We have lost a sale as an organization, and our reputation is going down, because that's why now Facebook, for example, has got response time. They rate your response time. If your response time is quick, they rate you positively. Like, people will be able to see how quick you respond, and that on its own might be an opportunity for your competitors. Because if your competitor has got a better response rate, that means you will be left out, because they can go quickly to your competitor who is able to respond quicker. So always make sure that you set your response time to the minimum as you can. So it is important for you to set notifications for messages that are coming in, be it on your phone, so that whenever somebody sends a message, or a customer sends an engagement message, you are able to be notified that there is a message that needs a response. That way you are able to quickly respond to customers before you lose them, before they are grabbed by your competitor. So it is important for us to have a quick response rate, and it can only be possible if we have chosen the right person to do the job. And also remember, these people who are in charge of managing your sites, if it is one person, it is important for you to appreciate them and reward them equitably. I always emphasize this because many people undermine the importance of equitable remuneration. Remember, the relationship of any organization and an employee is money-based. So if these people are not happy, that might affect their morale, that might affect their effectiveness in terms of doing their job. They might be the right people, But if they are not equitably remunerated, because these people sometimes they work overtime, sometimes there's a message that pops up at 10. You can't tell customers when to post. They will engage with you at 10 o'clock and need a response. As organizations, are we considering remunerating or compensating them their time in terms of of them being able to be motivated to do whatever they are doing without an element of them looking at time? So I think it is imperative for organizations to appreciate people who are doing social media community management and consider the extra work that they invest in the organization. And key performance indicators in terms of you knowing that if you're doing well on your social media as an organization, first and foremost is the community growth. What growth have you earned over the time? How big is the community become? You can't be having a social media platform like a Facebook page for 2 years and you still have same number of followers. You need to grow. And growing requires you to invest in making sure that we equitably pay people who are manning the social media platforms. We invest in terms of invest in resources that that are needed to manage the platforms. So I think it is about that. So that means we've got a competent strategy, content strategy. We've got the right people managing the platforms. They've got the resources. They are motivated. So key performance indicators will be the number of views that you are gaining, or the number of views that you're getting on your posts, the likes, the follow, the share, the link clicks. Especially if you are linking your social media platform. For example, you've got a post on Facebook that links to your video on YouTube. So the link rate matters the most. You need to understand that people are clicking to the video, because remember, the video is the ultimate communication, which will be connected by a link that comes from Facebook. Look into the business wisdom section today, and today I'm going to be looking closely at the excellence or the superbness of TikTok marketing. As for the brand, what they did for them to attain the position that they've gained today. And currently TikTok, in terms of ratings, is standing at TikTok is at number 5 out of all the social media. But remember, TikTok only came into play 12 years after the launch of Facebook, 13 years after the launch of YouTube, 6 years after the launch of Instagram, and 10 years after the launch of X. They came long behind all these ones, but they are now currently sitting at number 5 in terms of users, active users, monthly active users. So how did they achieve this? And I've been looking at the brand. You see, before we had TikTok, it was not easy to just download a video from any social media platform. They protected their videos. But TikTok said, no, we don't need to protect the video. It is free marketing. What we need to do, give them the option to download the video, but make sure that it is branded TikTok and it identifies the user. Most of the videos that I have liked and followed, musical videos or some other kind of motivational videos, I found them on X and then went on to the landing page, which is the TikTok, to see more about the video. So they allowed you to download, but make sure that it is branded so that we gain credit, not just by mentioning, but we then created by attracting people to the actual video that was created, and many people gained following out of that. And many of the musicians, their music is being liked today because it was used on TikTok. They synchronized the use of music and came up with a very wise kind of strategy, whereby they don't limit you to what music you can play. You can play the music, and then royalty will be given to the artist for the usage of their music, which was brilliant. Before, it could not be done, because I remember in some cases on some media, on some social media, when you wanted to post a video, they would tell you copyrights protected. But TikTok came with a different strategy that addressed that equitably to both stakeholders, who is the user, the TikTok user, and the artist. And also at the same time, the audience are also equally benefiting. So it shows you that sometimes it's not about following to the book, but it's about doing the extraordinary thing, thinking out of the box, but making sure that at the same time you can also think out of the box and balance the interests of the stakeholders. So they came up with all those brilliant ideas, the usage of music. Remember, initially it was a musical platform that was created for that, but they come up with a good idea of harmonizing different music from different artists with the content creation, and also allowed people to download videos, which has brought them so much success. So from me, Charles, thank you so much for watching today's video, and looking forward to your engagement. If you need any advice in terms of how best you can optimize your digital space as a small to entrepreneur, small to medium entrepreneur, don't hesitate to contact. You can engage and tell us more about how are you utilizing a digital space as a small to medium entrepreneur, and how, if there's anything that you think we can help you with, please don't hesitate to reach out. Please share, follow, and like. There's a lot that is coming that we are working on, besides these kind of sessions whereby we engage with you in terms of advising each other as to how best to utilize some elements of the business sphere to make sure that your business becomes sustainable. But we have got more educative and exciting interviews coming up in the near future. Thank you so much for watching. From the Achievers Podcasters, we say thank you so much. Please keep subscribing, liking, and sharing. Thank you.